Let me go off without glasses. Trying to see if I can get the link. Invite. Copy the link. Hello. I hope you can hear me now. Sorry, I got a call from the my guest. I think she got the time mixed up. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining me. The guest is at will say she's running late. I just put on the link in the comment section below. You can join me to continue with the conversation until when she joins. The guest comes in as well. We can all have put our words across. I don't know if you can hear me. Please let me know if you can hear me. And I will see if I can share the screen as well. Okay, thank you. You said you can hear me. This is the window. Um, Trying to see the Chrome. I can hear you. Okay, thank you. And I'm waiting for a couple of people that will join us. I'm trying to share the screen so I'll be able to show the topic as well. Does anyone want to contribute to the topic we're discussing today, which is do children look after their parents longer than parents look after them? And what are your reasons for saying this? What have you seen? Have you experienced anything regarding this? Okay. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Yeah. Removed. Can't hear anything. Children do look after their parents longer than their parents look after them. May I know why you said that, Helena? Can you hear me now? It's connected now. JMC said can't hear anything. What about now? Can you hear me or you still can't hear me? Um I don't know what to do again. To let me see if I can solve it from here. Can you help me to please click the like button? Everyone, can we click the like button, please, to like the video, the live stream? Okay. So, James, Joanna Alena said, children do look after their parents longer than their parents look after them. Why do you say so? In my own view, I think it depends on how maybe the children get that independent, that freedom. They then maybe they when they were growing up, whatever the parents actually contribute to their life or how they show love. It also depends on closeness, closeness with the parents. Sometimes it helps in this looking after their parents longer than they look after their children. It all depends. Some people, I guess, some people because they it took a while before they start having children, maybe based on medical issue or it was just a planned thing or they're just waiting on the Lord. You know what I mean. So let me know why you said that. You said Alena said once parents have a child that is 20 plus. Okay, 20 plus, meaning that child will have to start working. But what do we mean by looking after their parents? Is it looking after them financially or what? What are the terms of this looking after their parent? What do we mean? And JMC said that parents look after their children longer than the children does. Okay, JMC, let me see what put user on timer. No, trying to see how I can pin this. I'm not used to this yet, but please pardon me, be so that we can. Um, I don't know if we can see that on the screen. The MC star look after their parents. I'll be reading what is on the screen. What through this chat section. I'm trying to share the screen, so I don't know why is it not showing at the end here. No, I'm not leaving my site. Okay, 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 okay. Do I need to mute this? Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys still hear me? Yes, definitely 2 foot. Okay. I was trying to see if I can pin the comments from the comment section, but I'm not there yet. So please bear with me. If we don't end up getting it today, we'll get it another time. So let me go on with what GMC Joanna said that once the parent have a child that is 20 plus, 20 plus, and what do you mean? Is it that they are able to start looking after their children parents immediately, or the parents hands off? What do you mean? JMC said parents look after their children longer than the child does. Why do you say that, JMC? What from what angle are you looking at this from? Also, Joanna said Joan said that the child now had a responsibility to look after the parents. Wow, from a 20 plus. Okay, I feel it depends. Let me see the point you're trying to pass across so that we can view from the same lens. And she's also said depend on how old the parent is when the child is an adult. Good point. Yes, how old the parent is after the child become an adult, when the child becomes an adult. And what about what the child is doing as well? What does the child does to be able to want to? Is it a parent that want to embrace such a opportunity with their, or would I say, help or looking after for their children to look after them at that very, would I say, early stage? Does it not depend on how agile the parents are? Mm, Um, Joanna said, do you think your children are allowed to abandon their parents, whether financially or socially, when they are grown? Hmm. Do I think children are allowed to abandon their parents, whether financially or socially, when they are grown? What do you mean? Yes, definitely, we can hear you. Turn louder. Um, And okay, yes and now. Okay, Alena said 20 plus can be 25 years old once the child has a steady job. Okay, yes. Once the child has a steady job, and depending on the needs of the parent, isn't it? Do you think the parents should be expecting something, or should put their burdens on the children as well, or should should they negotiate what needs to be, how they can help them? And she also said they should allow their parents to rest and possibly retire. Ah, when they retire, what would they be doing for them to be active? Hmm? Okay. Does anyone want to come to the live with me? I've dropped the link though. Let me see if I can redrop it again. It doesn't have to be one person, depending on how you can. If you feel, don't have to show your face though. You can speak. You can take your camera off if you want to. And children do look after their parent proper. Trying to see this conversation. Oh, I think there's a lot of. Yes, we can hear you. Okay, Enrique. Okay, possibly at mid 30s, then the parents can retire. Thank you, Enrique. And at 30 plus. Yes, depending. I think, yeah, I think there should be a balance at the age. Yeah. Enrique said there should be a balance at the age. I think so as well. I think it depends on would I say how fortune smile on us or when? Because sometimes, we have a plan that we want we want to get we want our children to have everything, and at social age we know that they should be responsible enough to be able to control certain things, and because we want to go and retire early. But what if the way we plan things doesn't really happen? Something happened that we don't plan, and you need to now restructure your plans, and that might affect children sometimes. Or let's say back home in Nigeria, when some people finish school and they're actually still in search of jobs. So there's so once they are struggling with this thing, or there's job today is on contract, tomorrow it doesn't really work well. Should their parent now decide to retire because they are at a certain age, or should they be doing that if they are still living with their parents? And Ayo said, considering a normal situation where the life expectancy of the parent just as far as 70 to 80 years, and the financial situation of our parent present world, the kids have fewer capacity to care for them. Just continue. Okay, for their parents longer. Mm. I'm trying to see this. He said, considering the age, does that mean that if the parents live up to that's age 70 to 80 plus, then the kids have the longer time of looking after their parents rather than the number of years that their parents look after them? I also want to point this out that sometimes, if let's say God forbid, sometimes if a parent look after a child for like 2 years, maybe that child has a sickness that they've been battling with, it's been ups and down, visiting hospital, going out of school today, tomorrow, it's not working that way. Sometimes when one is going through a hard time, it seems as if one has done it for 10 years, because that one day alone seems like a year. So the parents will see it as a very long years of this thing being done. No, it is when they now decide to sit down and count the years. Well, it's a day seems like a looks like a day looks like a year to them. I don't know if you get what I mean. The parents only look after their child for around 20 to 25 years. Majority of the parents, yeah, they stopped at that age, because as at that age, that person is an adult, should have obviously maybe have a job that they are doing, or they are no more longer in the house. Some of them maybe they are married, but remember that once they are married as well, they also have responsibilities. They also have things that they need to do for themselves or for their family. So it tends to reduce how they can offer help. Some they feel is a peg. They've gotten to that place where they peg the care they give to their parents. Does parents usually embrace this help as well? There's some parent that they will say, no, 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 don't do that. Don't do that, or you need to look after your family first. And I also think it depends on how strong the parents are. Some parents have actually looked after their children for a very long time. Like I said, that 1 year of going up and down, that stressful times. One day alone seems like a year to them, and it has obviously weighed them down. So they look so worn out. And so you can imagine in that situation that, do you think some of them will quickly want to embrace, or if they're already working, that they have health issue, they are not as strong as they used to before, that is now left for the children to start to take over, start looking after their children. Is now, since is an exchange of this thing. I pass it on to you. Okay, now you start looking after me. Should it be a responsibility? Should it be weighed out? Should it be burden on the children just because they're already 25 or 2025 and above, or they're working? Ayodeji said, no, the next one says, Erike said, um, what do you class as looking after? Okay. So what do we class as looking after? Looking after, should it be like the parents are leaving all their responsibility to their most of their responsibility on their children, or the children should um, have a sit down meeting and discuss what they would like to do? Do you think the children will need to discuss with the parent to say, okay, this is what I can offer, this is what I can do, and this is not what I cannot go with this thing, this is where we need help? Do you think they need to discuss and negotiate on that? Just trying to do my meter. Um, Ayodeji said the word order prevents better earning and financial stability for the next generation. The ability for this next generation to buy inflation boosting houses and all other things money can buy makes the financial situations of the next generation less promising. That's if they're striving, if things are going on well with them. And it's also not everyone that are doing well that also remember their parents. Does it not also the way the parents embrace, or excuse me, relate with the children, with their children, does it not also matters in what how the children feel they can help their parents? Excuse me, please. Um, if parents have a fantastic inheritance passed on to the children, then the kids have legs to stand on quickly. That's a good point. I think also, yeah, the children also sees as a point as a responsible, their own responsibility to look after their parents, or start taking control of what their parents are obviously invested. If they have properties, investments and all that, that they need to take over, and in the process also allow their parents to rest and look after their children. Not every children do it. Now, depending also, maybe the company they move with, or would I say when they get married as well. When people are married, a lot of plans tend to get rescheduled. They they're not able to kind of meet up with some plans that they would have wished to, based on one thing or the other. Alena said, "What is an ideal way of being looked after?" And she said, how would you like to be looked after when you're older? We have some parents in the house. Can anyone answer that question before I put my own onto it? I think I'm okay. I don't know if I have. I'm not sure if our guest can actually join because since she missed the time up. Okay, how would you like to be looked after? For me, I think I would like to be looked after based on whatever that is going on in my life, maybe my health. Then I'm going to like to have a word with maybe meeting with my children so we can discuss what they can do and how I can fit into their own life as well. So I don't inconvenience them. But of course, love, showing of love and concern. If they always know that, oh, they can quickly relate that I might be a bit down, or some people are just down thinking. So why this? Some say, oh, they are under the weather. So it depends on, like I said, it depends on the relationship we have with our children. Looking after, if I'm not that strong anymore to do something, of course I will need my children to sort of help me in their own capacity. And I also believe that parents also need to understand what their children are going through. I think the expectations of parents to their children when they grow up, the way we grew up then, the parent make it seems as if, oh, I'm looking after you so you can look after me when I grow up. It is a kind of yes, but there's a but to it. I wouldn't like to put my burden on the children. I don't plan to. I wouldn't like to. Depending on what is going on in my life as at the time that maybe I wasn't strong, I'm not strong enough to be able to do certain things, then I will be expecting my children to put in. Maybe they can find someone to help me around the house, or if they can, because these children also need to have life. They need to have their own life. They need to mingle with people outside. They need to really. I can't put all my burden on them that they can't really think right. And this thing also will affect them outside. These are the things we need to remember, that it will affect them outside if we put too much our burden on these children, all in the name of we look after them. Yes, remember, they did not ask to be born, we gave birth to them. I just said, as far as I am concerned, the right legacy passed on to my children will surpass what I am expecting from them. Good point. I make it clear to mind that as long as I see them progressing positively in life. Yeah. Enrique said, how do you feel about children putting their parents in care homes? I think I know that was gonna come anyway. Yeah. How do I feel about children putting their children in care homes? Some parents don't want to go to care homes. Yeah, they will say because of a couple of things that they've seen, how they've been dealt with, or maybe their loved one has been dealt with. I mean, so they will say it's a no for them. That um I'm gonna take the this off for now, so the screen sharing off for now, so I can read this properly. So for me, I wouldn't like to go to the care home. I would love if they're okay enough, if I'm okay enough that I have my own place, maybe they can get someone to come look after me, and they should be visiting from time to time so they could spot things, because you never can say this carer is going to do 100%. Those carer too are going through one or two things, and they could take it out on those people they are looking after. I'm telling you. So I wouldn't want to go to care home. Some people take their children to parent to care home because they are far off where their parents are living. Also because they need their parent to also mingle. If the more they see other people, maybe the age group or people in the care home, it kind of balance things up. It help them psychologically, their mental state. So rather than just being in the house just by the, so it doesn't help some people. Why it does help some people. Some is because they are just far off. They don't live in the same maybe continent or wherever their parents are. They just can't stand it. Some is just because of family life, if they, depending on who they get married to, where they decide that they're going to settle. JMC is saying to Alena that most times is the financial support they really need. Most times is the financial support they really need. Yes, sort of. Some people it is the financial support. Why some they are rich, they just pass the they pay maybe the agency, they have money, but they don't come in to show love, they don't call. So sometimes some people they say the rich also cry. Remember, the rich also cry. It's not so they have the money, but there's something else that they need. They need that love and care. So how do you feel about the children put their child? I could write that. So Alena said okay, let me read Ayodiji's comment. He says sacrifice made while our nurture. Okay, so as I am concerned, the right legacy passed on to my children will surpass what I am expecting from them. I made it clear to mine that as long as I see them progressing positively in life, then, and he continued by saying, the sacrifice made while I nurtured them has been all worth it. Good point. And I pray that they also appreciate it or it's not rub off them because you see that these children sometimes some of them will promise their parent like what, I will never leave you, but when they find the love of their life, we pray that they get a good one. They tend to move over, look over to another distance. They feel like, oh, you know what, mommy's gonna understand, daddy's gonna understand, or I can't kill myself. I shouldn't do that war. I can't buy myself. We use spy. So some it depends. And to me, I feel we should also pray, put this along, also add prayer to it while we're working on things so that everything come in place. And Elena said, what should happen if a child can't support their parent financially? Yeah, that's a good point. What should happen when children can support their parents financially? I think, like I said, relationship matters. This relationship I'm talking about should be they are open to their parents, or their parent could see that this children can or this child can really help at this stage. We know of parents that are still supporting their children even while they are married. Their children are married or they've grown in one way or the other, they still render financial support to their children. Do you understand? Their children should be doing for them sort of, but you know, they are not buoyant enough to do that. So if the parent asks, I feel that they should help their children because that's when they can also have peace as well. When I mean peace, is about when they are alone sometimes, what their minds are going through. But if they know their children are actually settled, it also helps them, if they won't be thinking and all that. So that's my own response to what should happen if their children cannot support them financially. The children should be able to show love to the parent. The parents should know that if they have, there's a way they will know the way their children are showing love to their parent that what, I really can't get to this thing, but they are checking up on them and all that. That's my own take on that. And Ayo said, care homes are not a bad place. That is, paying for service that care for the older people, provided the parents are not abandoned there. Of course, I personally would not like to live my final life in a care home. Hmm, yeah. These people have joined now, people that does this spam thing. So I will need to block this person. Best adult dating site. We don't do that here, please. I'm just gonna block again. Somebody's already in and dropping um best adults and or call block the user. I'm blocking the user now. This person has actually dropped a lot. Can you please check the comment section, please, if you can help me to block? Because sometimes when you're live, some people will come in and start dropping their link. It's a lot here. So sorry about that. I'm just trying to block. God. Has anyone seen what I'm talking about? Okay, let me check here. Maybe I'll be able to. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's move on. He said, Ayodeji said, support them in other ways other than financially. Then, as in a response to Alena, she was asking that if what about those children that are not financially capable of looking after their parents? What should happen if a child can't support their parents financially? And IODG is responding to that, saying you can they can support show other ways rather than financially. Yeah. So what should the parent do? The parent should the parent will understand if the parent is also not financially okay. Remember what Ayodeji said, that the joy of parents is to have to pass on a lot of things to their children, so they are able to look after themselves and to look after them as well. And but if that did not happen, maybe because of one thing or the other that didn't happen. I think, like I said, relationship matters, and how they pass message, discuss what is going on in their life. The parents should know that the children would have loved to look after them better than the way they are, but finance is capping that option out. So if the parent has, I think they should allow the children to help them to manage them well. Or depending on where the parents are obviously located, if maybe it's in abroad, if it's over here, they might be able to get some financial support for the children, for the parents. When it's back home, I don't think there's any financial support. So depending on what the parents also has, maybe friends and family. That's my own take on that. But seriously, I don't like when parents leave all their things, because it seems they turn the children to their retirement. Um, like the children is their retirement trophy. A trophy, you even just put it there and you're looking at it or dusting it. But they like answer. Some parents at the age of 60, they're already off. Is parents doing children doing things for them, but they also have to do it for their grandchildren if their children already have to having bearing children. Just to understand what I mean. So it goes hand in hand, depending on how the financial state of those children. It's not every child that things go on speedy way. Some plan it well, it doesn't happen that way, things are going slow, and it depends. It all depends. So I pray that things work out well for our children, that we will not even have to even rely on them to survive. They will not have to rely on us to survive at their um from when they become an adult. That the things will be better for them as well. They'll be financially okay. What else again? And what topic have I not raised? Okay. God, please, will not be that will not be our portion. Ayodiji said, I pray. Amen. Look up to the state. Yeah. Depending on where they live. The Nigeria, our Nigerian culture, I don't think they have that facility where they fend, or would I say support the parent, the old ones. That's why we have most of them also on the road, that they're actually still trying to beg to feed or to have shelter. But of course, if one is abroad, some are able to get support if they have the right to, depending as well in the abroad. If parent wants to migrate back to their home country, yeah. So this is another angle to it. Some parents are over here, they are maybe in US, Canada, and all that, but they want to migrate back to their country. Meanwhile, their children doesn't reside over there. Let's say reside in Nigeria. Their children doesn't reside in Nigeria, but the parents are now fed up of living in abroad where there's snow or wherever, or other places maybe there's no snow. It doesn't have to be UK or US or Canada. There are other places where people travel to. But they are fed up of staying there. They want to go to back to Nigeria. These children can't be living in Nigeria, so they will actually still need people to help them to look after their parents. I would say it depends on if the parents have their own house, but if they are renting, there should be there should be something that they put in place. They might need to employ some people to look after them. Even when you have family living with them in the house, that doesn't mean that they are not being abused. It all depends as well. I just feel that those children should also be having some personal, maybe call with with their parents, most especially video one, to see if they can read between the line, maybe their body language, to know if they're actually comfortable or not. But if they are not, they will have to discuss with their parent that, what, we can't move over to your place. You might need to come to us. And also this in doing this, I also feel, depending on the parent's age, their health issue. Because with their health issue, if their parents are staying here, and we've had issue where some parents will say, if I buy, I want you to go and bury me in so they want them to be taken back home, and it's quite expensive. Should they be looking at the children's pocket to start asking for such things? Or because does it really matter where they lay them? Because some parents will say, once I buy, you know what I mean on life, when people on life are on life, or they've passed on, that they want them to be laid back in their own home, not in the foreign country. Meanwhile, they spend most of the time maybe in the foreign country or wherever. It tends to become a norm for, let's say, Nigerians, the black people, that they want to be taken back home. It's actually so stressful. Just going for burial alone is stressful as well. So, what do you think about that when they are demanding to be taken back home? And what Alena said about when the parents want to migrate back to their country, what would they be doing? That's the question. What would they be doing? At what age? How strong are they? Do they have people around them? Are they going back home to where their families are? I think there's so many things that we need to consider. Let me hear from you what I've said so far about, when they ask to be taken back home, when they buy, and I've answered your question, Alena, about when the parents want to migrate back home. I feel it depends on what are the things that the parents has, who are the people that they are surrounded with, what area, security as well. What are the things that will be put in place? How often would the children be visiting or having um maybe phone call, video call with them, the privacy as well. These are the things that needs to be. If a carer have to quick, obviously every time take the phone to them and be by their side, they might not be able to even tell you they are not in a good state, or this person, I don't want this person beside me. And those children needs to know that sometimes these parents will throw tantrum. She also asked if the parent wants, okay, how would the child look after the parent? I've responded about if the parents want to migrate back to their country, how would the child look after their parent? I've answered that question. I hope you're pleased with that. Also, Enrique said, do you have any regret as how you look after your parents? For advice for the children on the life okay, for me, do I have any regret as how I look after my parents? One of my parents is no more. My dad is no more. Not really. Some I wish I could have done more, and some there was. I think it also depends on how I'm growing and how I'm seeing things. There was some times that I felt I should have. If I had more, I would have been able to help. And also right now I don't feel no. I feel I'm okay. I trying to balance things, and at the same time, while you're looking after your parent, if you still have children that you're looking after, you also have to consider that you cannot abandon your children to look after your parents too. You need to make sure you balance things. um Ayodeji said communication is the most important. Yes, communication. When they communicate things, and how is I think how they received what was communicated, the solution to it, how they go about what was communicated. Because some you can pass that across, but they are not actually saying anything. They are not doing anything about it. Um, what else again? There's so many things I wanted to pin down or start. GMC, are you still with us? Okay. Do you think the society will affect how um the children look after their parents? Do you think the society who they mingle with, do you think that could affect how children look after their parents? So, for the topic we're dealing with is, do children look after their parent longer than their parent look after them? And I think we've come to conclusion, or most of the point we're raising here is depending on the parent's lifespan. One, their health issue, financial capacity of both parents and the children, then the relationship. I, did I put that well? The parent lifespan, the relationship they have with maybe the children, or the children have with their parents, the financial capacity of the children as well, the what did I also how they communicate, and also yeah, with that, since we said financial capacity, depending on how early the child that their children started having that financial independence. If they don't have much burden on them, it also helps. And if they're a family person, so children will look after their parent. Yes, definitely, especially in the country, there is a higher quality of care. So children will look after their parents better. Good. Um, so like I said, do you think society, what does the society contribute to it? Do you think it affects the way the children look after their parents? The society. Can we also consider the fact that depending on the parent as well? We have some parents that they are quite let's say the parent that like parties, that like to go out, some parents like to look good, some parents like to do show off. depending on the parent. This will determine if the children can actually afford the kind of lifestyle the parents are living or want to live. This parent that we're talking about, what are their lifestyle? It depends. Would the children be able to cope? Because we're talking about looking after. Hmm. What if the child is earning and what they are expecting from the child, their own children, is different from what their children can afford to give? Yeah, that is also another thing we have to look into. The parent lifestyle. What are the things that they are doing? Things that they'll, expectation sometimes it makes one to be betrayed. People get betrayed, um, disappointed because they expect too much. So, what are the things that I think for parents to be expecting too much from from their children, they get disappointed if they don't get what they want or exactly what they want. Then that rift starts or that hostility sets in. So, the children might feel they are more civilized that mommy, you don't need this. Daddy, you don't need that. They feel they don't need that they should retire to from all this over and betting. But the parents they have that lifestyle in them. And some parents they like to show off. They would like to show that, oh, my children they bought car, they this one, they that one. If that child cannot afford that kind of lifestyle, do you think that also contribute? That's what I was talking about, the society as well. Does it, because some parents seems to not remember this, these are the things that they are actually doing to the children or the children doing to the parents as well, is it works hand in hand depending on the parent and children lifestyle. The next question is, so do you think parents should lower their expectation? I think so, depending on um, the children's capacity, financial capacity as well. Like I said, I wouldn't want to put my burden on children or my children, no. So I pray God grant my request and give me a good life, good health and long life. So I'm not putting rather if I can help them maybe to look after the children and one or two things, fine. Rather than putting my burden on them, which will weigh them, it will affect them even when they're outside. Like I said, it will affect them at work. Sometimes even their relationship with people on the way or in the house, in their own home, they could be snappy because we're actually putting that weight on them. Parents, when they start having children, those children are our children as well. If they start having their own children, they will be able to recount or compare to say, oh, what my parents were going through then, or my parents must have gone through so this time. They can't imagine what the parents have gone through while they were going through their own taking care of their own children, raising their children. So parents shouldn't have high expectation for high expectation. Some parents will say, I want you to buy so house for me. Do they have the right to? Some will say it's their entitlement. Should they be entitled to such things? I think this is another topic that we need to treat. Should they have should there be a sense of entitlement in from our children? That would be another topic that we need to face. I wouldn't want us to face that today because there's so many angles to it. We'll bring so a lot. We bring our points across that. Should parents lower their expectation? Should parents have high expectation? Should there be any expectation from children? Yes, there should be, depending what expectation. And I feel any expectation that is going to make it look like you're having a competition with their fellow friends or fellow family is actually not a priority. You will have to look at the priority. Then it's not all of our children that have the same interests with us. In as much as some parents like to show, some children doesn't like to. I remember when we go to church, then they were a lot younger. They don't want to sing. And I feel it's okay. You're just a child. So as time goes on, I tend to understand what they don't want. That it's not a must. Because other children are doing it doesn't mean that mine want to do it. I might try to want to convince them, let them see a point in this is why you need to do so to do this is also going to boost your confidence, but If they don't have that confidence, it shouldn't be a force. So depending, do you think parents that disown their, yeah. So Alena said, do you think parents that disown our child should be looked after by that child? Yeah. Another questions. I would like us to hold on today to treat this another time, but we can actually put a quick response to this. Some parents disown their children based on maybe they didn't meet their expectation. I think it depends on what expectation the parent has on the child. Is there finance expectation, or to better their own the child's life, for them to make sure they become someone in life? So because they will stop, some children get into this group, peer pressure and all that, and they go the other way. So the parents are not okay with that, and they answer. Should parents actually answer from their child? Should parents actually answer from their child? So if the child is successful, and they look after the parent that disowned them? I think they should, but it can't be as it should have been before. Maybe the relationship matters. How But I want to advise that they shouldn't abandon. If you have, why don't you just do it rather than abandon the parents? Some people, that to me, I feel you don't really have to be there all the time with them, but you can obviously help financially, send people to help them, to look after them. They will know you are doing so thing, and try to balance up your relationship with the parent, especially if they are at the end of their time, the end time. Or if try and have a balanced relationship with them, so that also help them before they go to rest. I hope I've answered your question, but I would like us to treat this as well in maybe the next couple of life that we're gonna have. The children should be looked after. What are your responses to all these questions that I've responded to so far? Can I hear from you, Ayo? That would you like? Do you think parents should look after the children that they disown? JMC, are you still with us? Mm, any other questions that haven't answered? So, looking after the children, it depends on the parents' lifespan, the health issue, financial capacity. I wish I could type this point out. If anyone can help us to, highlight this, depending on their financial capacity, their relationship with their children, how stable the children and their children's are, how they communicate as well. Financial capacity, the lifespan of the parents, health issue, environment as well. Environment sometimes I think is also a barrier to how some people are able to look after their parents. And all this then say, which is the societal input into why some children are not able to look after their parents well. If the children get are successful at from 8:30 upward, depending on when the parent also started having children, some start having their children in their 40s, in their early 30s as well. Some have them early. So as at this time, I have friends that their child, they start having children early, so their children is already getting married as well. So it depends as well. It depends on how early these people, we have our children, how they move on quickly in life. So that's my contribution to that. Any other question Please, if you can help me to type the what we've discussed, the point we've raised about if children do look after parent longer than they should, longer than their parents do. Some parents look after their children more than their children look after them. Some parents do not even have the chance to for their children to look after them before they finally go to rest. Yeah. Some parents do not have that luck. They do have that luck for their children to look after them. Why? So at the end of the day, it looks like it's like the parent look after the children more. Or also, if we don't know the health state of the children as well, it might not help. They might not be able to look after their parent. Meanwhile, maybe the parents are staying more. They have long lifespan, but if the parent their children are not um they don't have a good health, depending on what they are going through in life regarding their health as well. So I think all these things work hand in hand. I pray that we'll have good health, long life, and success, so we don't depend and we don't put too much burden on our children. Love care is expected from everyone, from parents, children to their parents as well, our loved ones as well. All these things. Not everyone that has family. Oh. Where I come from, they used to say this adage that ẹni ọmọ ẹni tó lọ́mọ ọmọ ló máa sin, ẹni tí ò lọ́mọ ọmọ náà ló máa sin. Meaning that the person that have children, when they finally go to rest to go and be with the Lord, it is children that will look after them. I mean, it's other people's children which they've taken as their child or children. Or so the one that does not have any as well, it is still the same thing. So you understand what I mean now. Anything else? I really thank you for coming to life with me. I appreciate it. It's 1:30 already. We're on the dot of 1 hour. Thank you. And we'll have another live next year, which is next week. I hope you will all enter into the new year with praise and thanksgiving, praying that this time next year there will be better things to discuss, better, everybody will be in a better environment, will have good health as well. There won't be any issue with us. It will be good news. Thank you, Alena. Thank you, Enrique. Thank you, Ayodeji. Thank you, JMC. Thank you. Who else? The people that are on the live commented here. I can't see other people on live stream. So if I didn't mention your name, so please bear with me. I'm sorry about that. I don't mean to. Um, yes. I think I've mentioned the people I can see in the comment section. Thanks for your time. Thanks for joining me once again. Thank you. And we'll come to the end of the program, of the live stream. God bless you. And we'll see in the next live stream. Please don't forget to like this video. Please help me to watch the video once again later after we ended the live stream as well. Thank you and God bless. Bye.